welcome back to the tailgate. I'm David Dom. I've had so many of you reach out and comment that these podcasts are helpful because we're talking about real life situations, and we're doing it in a real way to help you have a lot more real successes along the way. And so I'm just thrilled to be with you again. And this podcast is going to be very, very specific because many of you are apprehensive to reach out and call a farmer about maybe top dress fertilizers, or maybe a tank mix that needs to go in with a post-app herbicide, or maybe fungicides and some of those tank mixes that are going to need to be put in that tank. And you're apprehensive because you're looking at the grain markets and you're listening to some of your farmer friends, and we know it's difficult. But there's never been a more opportune time to help farmers than right now. And in this podcast, you're going to almost bat 100%. I'd like to say 100% satisfaction guarantee, but you're going to bat almost 100% in getting an engaged farmer to listen, to really engage their thinking, to get that appointment, whether that be on the phone or online or in person. And what I'm going to provide you, we're going to call it the quick win. Because not only is the farmer winning, because you're going to begin to open up their mind in regarding the possibilities for their farm, but you get a win as well, because now you get an opportunity to help a friend and a farmer. Now there's going to be some things that you're going to want to write down, so grab that notebook, grab that pen or pencil, and there's going to be 4 steps. And the first step is you're going to need to develop the number one need. And so just like your favorite football team, you put up your finger, number 1. And in this case, I want you to write that down. Develop the number one need for that farmer. The second step is we're going to provide some options. Okay? We're going to provide some options for them to consider. And it can be very generic, or you can be a little bit more specific, depending on the route or the product line or the service line that you need to position with that farm. Step number 3 is you're going to share with them some results that you've just had in regards to helping growers with whatever is going to help them with their number one need. Or you can even go back to your results from last year when you helped a farming operation through the solution that you're going to share with that farmer. The 4th step is there always has to be a next step. There always has to be an appointment, a next step in regards to an email or how you're going to do the math. And so those are your 4 steps. They are, again, develop the number one need. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to provide options. The third thing we're going to do is we're going to share results, because that's important that they understand that you have a track record, that this product has a track record. And then the 4th thing we're going to do is always the next step or appointment. Okay, so here's step number 1. Get ready to listen. I'll do it once, then I'll talk a little bit about it, and then I'll share it again. So you ready? So I'm going to say to a farmer, almost every farm operation I speak with is telling me that finding a way to gain an extra $40 of revenue per acre is their number one concern. You notice, did you hear that? I just said almost every farming operation I'm talking to, and if you wanted to insert their name, knock yourself out. So I said almost every farming operation I'm talking with is telling me, well, what are they telling you? What do they need? Finding a way to control this, finding a way to reduce risk this way, finding a way to gain more what I would call financing or capital. Finding a way, whatever it might be, finding a way to gain an extra, in this case, $40 an acre of revenue per acre is their number one concern. That is absolutely critical. Can you hear yourself saying that versus maybe what you've been doing? Yeah, this is important. Okay, so you've got step number 1. Step number 2 is now we're going to share with them their options. So let me give you an example. I've been working hard to develop some options for you, John, to consider to do just that, to find a way to gain $40 extra in income or revenue per acre. So all I did in this case made it very generic. I said I've been working hard. You could say we've been working hard to develop some really, really sound options and recommendations for you to consider to do just what you mentioned in step number 1, to do just that. Now, to help you learn, I'm going to go back from the top. We're going to add the first and the second step together. So almost every farming operation I'm speaking with is telling me that finding a way to gain an extra $40 of revenue per acre is their number one concern. And I've been working hard to develop some options and some very sound recommendations for you to consider to do just that. There's our first 2 steps. Now, the third step, if you're looking down at your notes, we're going to share results. This is where you can share results from what you've already seen this year. It's results of what you did last year. In this case, we're kind of talking a little bit about fungicides here, okay? So I might say in my third step, last year, I was able to help guys really understand the math before they made their final decision. And they were so glad they took the time to really investigate what those options were and really then zero in on the specific needs of each farm so that they were able to increase yields and drive down cost of production. A lot there, wasn't there? Let me go back to the top. Last year, I was able to help other farmers, just like you. So you can just put it that way. Last year, I was able to help farmers just like you. Or you could say this year, I've already been able to help guys. Now, what have you done? So in this case, I said, I've helped guys to understand the math before they made their final decision. And they were so glad they took the time to really investigate the needs of each one of their farms. Now listen to what I just put in here. So whatever you did, whatever you learned from last year, whatever results you provided them, what did it mean to farmers? So that they were able to increase yields, reduce risk, increase standability in order they could drive down their cost of production. Are you seeing how this is a win-win? Now there's one last step. We're going to gain the appointment in the next step. Now you're going to notice some words that I use. We always want to be sincere, but we need to really touch people now. We need to touch their minds. We need to touch their hearts. We need to develop trust. So listen to my words that I'm going to use. I immediately thought of you, and then you insert their name. So I immediately thought of you, Jared, and I called you today to see what day this coming week would work for you to sit down so that we could go through a customization tool that I have just developed for you and your farm. So write these words down. I immediately thought of you. And I called you to see what day this week you and I can sit down, go through your farm goals, go through your yield goals, go whatever you're going through, go through your whatever precision tool you're using, go through the math, because I've developed it just for you. Now, this probably sounds a lot different than what you've been trying to do, or you maybe been struggling, or maybe been fearful. I'm scared to call people. Don't be fearful. Now's the time to reach out to more farmers than you ever have in your life, than you ever have in your career. And it goes through the 4 steps. We're going to develop the number 1 need. We're going to share their options. We're going to provide results. And we're going to gain the appointment. You can do this. You need to practice it. You want to listen to this podcast over and over and get it in your mind. And then this coming week, you need to use it on at least 5 customers that you're currently working with. And let's add 2 prospects. Well, they always say 7's your lucky number. We're going to go 7, okay? Has this been helpful? It's called the quick win. And it's what we do on these podcasts, on these tailgates. This is where we really do real things to help you have real success. I'm David Dom. Good selling.